What it do, Kripple Krew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly, back with another Tactical Tuesday. This time, the Post Blade Show West edition. I'm gonna scroll up to the top and start saying hi in the chat real quick. We got Ground Fog, what it do, homie, popping in late last night. Henry G and Marco, what's up, gentlemen? Both part of the early crowd this morning. So was Tegan, member Kripple Krew Wink. Grand Prize Greg Vanderlip. We got scrolling. I appreciate that, Greg. Yes, it definitely helps me when y'all stab that like button. We've got Stephen Parks, member of Kripple Krew Wink. What's going on? Donnie B, Donnie Bless Knives, what it is do. Paul Mills, member of Kripple Krew Inc. What's up, homie? We've got, let's see. Scrolling. Chris Lopez, what's going on, homie? Added a couple of TRMs to the collection this weekend, and I need to get with you after the show, after the live stream, homie. All right. So I'm going to tell you what my carry is today. Eagle Scout EDC. Hey, man. Brethren, how are you both? Good to see you both. I keep, we're going to move this a little bit because I keep blocking the tag along every time I click something. See if that works a little. Yavis, what's up, homie? Member Kripple Krew Inc. Good to see you, my man. Yeah, there we go. That doesn't hide the tag along every time I click something now. So, Mrs. Deadly and I had a killer time at Blade Show West. We got to meet so many cool people. From, of course, the first person we met was Darkwater, homie, Darkwater Actual, which was dope. Glad to hear it, Eagle Scout. And then we also got to meet MPG, EDC, and Tony and a little Tyke in person on your channel tonight. Yay. Good to know. Fred the Lug, what it do, my man? And what time is that going to be tonight? Taken. Met Rick's Knives. Spent a fair amount of time with Rick's Knives. And yo, Sever 7, what it do? That's one of the people I was really hoping to meet at Blade Show. However, Sever had flight issues. Roger that. Tegan live tonight, 7:30 Eastern. Tegan and Shay on Tegan's channel. Fook and Meffinduzo, member Kripple Krew Inc. What it do, my man? I was hoping to meet Sever 7. He had flight issues, but I did get to check out his design, the Noctis, with Katuo. And ooh, yo, Berkeley's, what's going on? Good to see you. My brother Mad Yako. What it do, homie? What it do? Neil to the Mac, member Kripple Krew Inc. What's going on? So I got to check out Sever's, the prototypes of his very first knife to come out. Kurt White, what's going on? And I'm telling you, I'm going to be dropping a short with that Noctis. You want to talk about wicked? A thing. It looks so sick. And then Oh, the blade is, it's a wicked pokey tonto. Like crazy pokey tonto. And the middle finger flick is straight up money. The front flip, man, why is that tripping? I restarted the internet. It's got hardwired. What's up, Mud? Member Kripple Krew Inc. Thank you, brother, for popping in. I hope you have, hope the appointments go well. But the front flipper rollover on the Noctis, it's not very, it doesn't stand out very much at all. So at first you don't even know if it is a front flipper. And the first time I grabbed the knife, I was like, well, let's see. And it opened right up. I'll be dropping a short on Sever's design later today. And you guys, you're going to want to see that. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate you popping in, sis. Stab that like button. Oh, that'll be a good time, Eagle Scout. So, Sever, I really, really like the Noctis. It is a slim and sleek, and so it looks like it's like a futuristic yet practical, very, very stabby knife. I love it. I talked to them a little bit about the V2s. You'll see that short probably today. We got to meet legends from the knife world. From probably the biggest one to me was meeting Doug Ritter. That was awesome. I know you haven't touched it yet, brother. And that's the first thing he told me when I got it, because I was playing with it and I was messing with it and doing the flipping and stuff. And then I was like, I need to record this. So I started recording it and playing with it. And when I went to front flipping on camera, I rolled off it a couple times. And I was like, hold on, I was just doing this, folks. And I got it to snap. And the couture rep was like, you found the one thing that we are going to improve on version 2 of the Protos. And he told me that the front flipper is going to go slightly higher and the jimping is going to be a little bit more aggressive. And that's all it needs. That's all it needs. And I mean, it doesn't need very much more front flipper at all. Not much. And just a little more aggressive jimping, and then it's perfect. Don't know how long I can say I'm supposed to be working. I love it. I love it. Just tell the boss I gave you permission. Yeah, tell him you got one of them DBD notes. But we got to meet Doug Ritter. That was really sick. Ramon Chavez, he signed my box. That sounds weird, don't it? Have a great day, Neil Mack. I know I didn't have any coverage during the show because we were only there the second day. I recorded a bunch of stuff and I've been working on uploading that, but I was trying to mix meeting as many people as possible into one day, seeing as much of the important stuff I wanted to see as possible, and buying knives and finding stuff. So I recorded stuff, but then when we were there all day, And then afterwards, we had dinner with Rick's Knives and hung out pretty late. By the time we got to the room, I was dead. And I barely got 2 reels posted to Instagram. And I actually fell asleep with my finger on the phone posting the second one. I had posted it and then I passed out with my finger still on the phone. So I didn't get anything up during the weekend, really. Yeah. Yeah, we got, I had to start off by going to TRM. And it's kind of funny. Before the show, so Mrs. Deadly and I got in Friday. Well, she worked Friday, and then we drove straight down, and we actually technically got in at 1:30 Saturday morning. And then at first, I thought Darkwater said he wanted to meet up at 8. So we were up at like 6:30, and then realized we didn't need to be down there until like 9:30-ish, or 9:30. All right, Grandpa's Greg. Have a good one, homie. And thanks for popping in. And yo, Garrett, my brother from a South African mother. What it do? Good to see you. I think I already said what's up to Henry G. Yes, I did. Knives Fast, KC, what's going on? I appreciate you popping in, brother. Thank you. So we get in there, and before, while Mrs. Deadly and I were getting ready, getting our coffee and getting ready, I'm actually getting a little nervous before the show, right? Not because of the YouTubers we're going to meet. What it do, Brian F? Appreciate you checking out. Tuesday Nafaholics. Ooh. I had a blast on Nafaholics a week ago on the Saturday one. Sterling Stoots. A Blue Jean Mike Carter tag along. Yay. Hell yes. So I was actually nervous while we're getting ready because I'm like, I talk to these people all the time. So, there were several companies I was really excited to meet. And I'm like, I know I talk to them a lot, but they talk to tons of people. They're not going to know me from anybody, no matter what they say online. So we get there, and before the show opens, we went straight to talk to TRM and say hello. Jim Miller, got a member Kripple Krew, got a lot of work to do before dark later. Have a good one, brother. And I got to tell you, it felt really cool walking back and doesn't intervene again with Blade Show West Atlanta. You'll be there. Yay. Jesse, member Kripple Krew Inc. What it do, brother? Good to see you. Lone Star Dow Boy, carry of the day, CGRB Pyrite Drop Point Large. Ooh. Rare that you don't see him with a cold steel. So we get back to the TRM booth, and I'm like, hey guys, I just want to come back here and say hi. I'm EDC with DBD, and this is Mrs. Deadly. And they're like, yo, you're DBD? And we hit it off like crazy. And I felt so much better at that point. And the companies that I was really trying to chat with there, I was really stoked when I would say, hey, I'm EDC with DBD, and I would get, no, you're DBD, or you're DBD? Yes, what's up, DBD? Flightanium, North Mountain Blade, TRM, Concept, Tenable. There was a bunch of them that I was just, it felt good that they actually did care who I was and remembered who I was. But we went back, talked to TRM, and of course I had, among others, how do we know your DVD? Marianne really is great. Really is. That's awesome, Fred. The frag tie looks so good. Les was great too. I got a lot of talking with Les. He would not get on camera. I do have an interview with Marianne coming up that you guys are going to see. Got to meet Crystal and Karen, but Marianne and Les were a real blast. Probably if you are using it, if you're claiming it as a business and you're itemizing, I'm sure you can. But when I was talking to Marianne, I asked what steel the tagalongs were that they had there. And they had the Magna Cut tagalongs at the show. And she grabbed this out of the case and found the box for it and gave it to me. So I got a forest green G10 tagalong. I love the sheath on the tagalong. And then they still breaking in the holier nerd. And then she hooked up a full tie. Oh, there we go. These washers are still breaking in, so this one isn't that smooth as it's going to be eventually. And I love the holier nerd as just a phenomenal fifth pocket knife. It's really perfect in a pinch, either a utility style grip or a pinch grip. It's a great user that way. I don't get quite a full 4-finger grip this way, but that's not how I would use this awesome knife. Mick MF and Ranger. Yes, if you make enough. There we go, Fred. Fred answering the question right there. Mick MF and Ranger, what's up? Good to see you. They had no fixies when I was there. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Really cool knife, too small for me. Yeah, no, I get it. It is, when I was comparing it to like a native, or I mean not a native, a little native, or say even I've got this one out. It doesn't give me that little big knife feeling because I don't get that full 4-finger grip on it. But especially on the milled tie version, the way my finger rests, this is perfect for me for opening boxes and any type of utility style cut. It's almost like having a little 3-finger fixie. And so I have, especially the contoured tie, it just feels so good in hand. Next, Lizard Skin Atom will be added to the collection. Love your nerds. Already had to put your own edge on your beater. Nice. Oh, that's sick, man, Yako. I can't wait to get to show that with the Kripple Krew. Guys, don't forget it's almost time for another. Oh, wait, I don't know what the date is on the drop. It might actually be. I know there's another Mad Yako loot box coming. I just don't know the date of the drop. I'm sure our brother can let us know. So my carry for TRM Tuesday is my Bulldog Rev B the Neutron 2, the Holier Nerd, and the TRM tag along. Full TRM carry today. I wanted to show off my carry before we start going over Blade Show Hall. Beck's boxes available now, 14 left. We will pull up. If one of the mods would drop the double wide EDC link for me, please. Cicero, I'll trade you those for my address. Member for 7 months. Much appreciated, brother. I truly appreciate thee. Oh, I gotta let the dogs out real quick. Let me let the dogs out. What is it? All right. One more flag wave for our boy Cicero. And we are going to take a look at the double wide EDC site right quick. Let me get this boop boop. So y'all can see these loot boxes. Let's share this screen. Double wide EDC. Our brother Mad Yako and our other brother Tactical Terry. Now available. Loot boxes. Okay, let's scroll. Now available. Oh, Super High Unknown. That was the first box. Oh, and these are. It looks like there's actually some left. Maybe. And on sale. Let's. Custom creations, Hank's limited runs. I'm looking for just like. There's 8 left of the Super High Unknown V1 loot box. I'm looking for the V2. Oh, I didn't mean to hit Mad Wax. What if I just click now available? By the way, I got to handle the Orlock. This feels great in hand. When I got to check it out before the show opened. When I made it back around later, they were sold out, or I would have grabbed one. Especially this one right here, the bronze textured titanium. Oh, that felt so good. I cannot see the new loot boxes, brother. I see it right here. Oh, wait. I missed the now available. Ha! There it is. There it is. You got the 2 Hanks. You got the 1 Hank box. And so you're guaranteed Hank and Wax. And Insert by Longbird. Potential extras include a hand-carved PNW Funwork item, screen-printed patches, lip balm from Stevie and more. Plus, you can win a knife. Just wicked cool. All right. Make sure you check those out. I will be sharing one with you guys soon. Yeah, thank you for pulling up the actual link. I was missing the available now. That was on me. So there's only 8 boxes left of the first box, and there's 3 knives. You've all got almost a 50% chance of getting a knife along with your hanks. So you did get one to send, but it wasn't the Nuck one, huh? No, I'm stoked for you, brother. And really, folks, to pay 60 or $80 and get 1 or 2 hanks plus the chance at everything, that is a very good deal. Y'all know, yeah, I've got handfuls like right here at my spot. I've got multiple Yakos because when I'm recording, these are the only ones I use on my blades. So I highly recommend them. Kershaw Bel Air is in carbon fiber, is still in the first rotation box. That is $160, $180 knife, folks. And no matter what, you're going to get hanks and other swag. But you might get a Kershaw Bel Air. That's nutty. Nutty. The tag along fixie. And I went with the pancake sheath because the taco sheath. You guys know I like a smaller sheath. So I went with the taco sheath. I rock this with the Ulti clip, and this carries so well in my back right pocket is where I've got it right now. And you can always feel when it goes all the way in. It's almost like clicking into Kydex. This is done so well. But very little of this sticks up from my back pocket when I've got this clipped in, just enough to make it easy to grab and pull this out and use. Such a phenomenal little fixie. I really, really like it. And, USA made and less than $200. TRM just continues to impress me. Now, yes, Jesse, it would be a good neck knife. I was already telling Mrs. Deadly that I might have to have a Kydex sheath made for this just so I can sometimes carry it as a necker because I would like it as one. Obviously, this is not set up for neck carry. This is meant to be a pocket dropper or to clip to your belt. Either way works, but I've been really liking it as a pocket dropper. And listen when this goes in. Oh, I just pushed it past. Here we go. You can hear that click into that sheath. Jason Beecher, a member of Kripple Krew Inc., says smash that like button, please. Oh, I should have used my mic today to see how the audio sounded. So I got mics right before Blade Show West. And I do definitely know that they helped with my recording at the show because you could actually hear me over all the noise. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start pulling out and showing a little bit of what we got at the show. Josh 304, what it do? What it do? Good to see you, homie. So, after GRM, I had to check out North Mountain Blade. And that was another one. I tried asking the one lady, I'm like, hey, so who do I talk to on Instagram? And she pointed at, yeah, I'm gonna start pulling out. Yeah, I did a little late for that. And she pointed at the owner, and he came over, and I said, hey, I'm EDC with DBD. Oh, you're DBD. And we started talking. And there was a guy there looking at the lucky dog. And I was talking to the guy about it. He had some questions, and I was talking to him about the kick stop, about their San My SLD magic. And the guy ended up buying a lucky dog. And after he walked away, the owner grabbed another box and handed me this one. So I will be reviewing the North Mountain Blade Lucky Dog. This thing is so comfortable in hand. Now, the lack of pocket clip is part of that comfort, but just the way this is chamfered and textured, and the clamshell construction in the back makes this feel so comfortable in hand. Then you've got a thick, chunky boy blade of SLD Magic San Ma. You can see the core running through the center. Their usual crazy sharp edges and awesome clacky action with that kick stop. If we let the doggies in, please. That kick stop works every time to launch that big old chunky blade out. But yeah, the lucky dog, also a score from Blade Show. One of the first people I met in the morning before the show started was Eddie from Orbital Knives. Darkwater introduced me to Eddie, and I asked him, because he wasn't at the moral of the story is a lucky dog for a lucky dog. So I asked him about if he had the Callisto in his pocket, and he pulled one out of his pocket, and he said, but I've got the extra large too, the prototypes. Oh my. So first, I'd heard this was a very well done budget knife. This is OEM by Concept. We've got titanium clip and back spacer, micarta, 154 cm. Really good price on these. And after chatting with Eddie, I wanted to support him. So I bought one of these. And so I had to snag one of these, and I talked to Eddie and checked out the Callisto XL. Oh, I am so excited for the Callisto XL. I have an interview with Eddie showing that will be dropping in the next couple of days. The Callisto XL is going to be so awesome. But I did grab one of the OG Callistos to support Orbital Knives because he was such a cool dude. And so that was the first knife of the show that I bought. Mrs. Deadly had already bought by then, and I'll show her carry in a bit. I wanted to start with my own. Another knife that I got that I love, the hamster from Kubi, designed by Utilizator, the same guy that designed the stroller, which is one of my knives of 2025. I had seen that he had designed a knife called the hamster with Kubi, and I thought I saw the design and loved the way this just chunky chode boy looks. And I thought this was going to be a small knife being called the hamster. This is not a small knife. And I'm going to tell you how this one happened. That is awesome, Jason. That is a good friend. See if I get this. There we go. Get that front to work again. But I was looking at a couple of other Kubis. Mrs. Deadly saw a purple anteater that she fell in love with, and I had planned on grabbing a completely different knife from Kubi. And then I went like that. I was like, and I just started chuckling when I saw this blade. You got a wicked deep hollow. You got a flat grind out front. Just this big chode of a blade. And I really liked this one too much to put it back. So I had to grab the Kubi hamster. And as crazy as it looks, it is so comfortable. But Utilizator, he's 2 for 2 out of the designs that I've checked, that's for sure. This thing is just fun and very cool. I scored 2 more knives. One of them, I had to get the X-Lock Chavez, the budget Chavez, so I can feel. Kane Miranda, Mipper Kripple Krew wink. Good to see you, homie. If he doesn't reply to everybody, it's not because he don't love you. It's because he's driving and he doesn't want to crash. Drive safe, brother. But I had to check out the budget Chavez. And I thought it would be a little bigger. But it's a really good EDC size. I figured the blade stock would be chunkier. But for an EDC knife, it's actually much more well suited to your standard EDC tasks than, say, most of the Chunky Boy Chavez knives. And it's done very well. These come standard with the bullshit clip on them, but they knew people wanted the skull clip, so like as soon as I bought it, they slapped the skull clip on it. And while the guy that was helping me was putting the skull clip on it, I got to talk to Ramon Chavez, and he autographed my box. Another one that sounds weird. Chavez autographed my box. But the Chavez X-Lock budget rendition is now in the collection. And before the show opened, the first booth we stopped at was the Boston booth, because a couple of Dark Waters boys were at that spot, and I wanted to say hello to them. And the first knife that I flicked all day was the Psyop in micarta and Elmax. And oh, I loved it. Show wasn't open yet, and I had other people I wanted to talk to before the show opened, and I wasn't going to try to buy stuff. I got in early because of a homie hookup, and so trying to buy anything before the show opened would have been a dick move. Mrs. Deadly, sexiest member of Kripple Krew Inc. But I went back to the Vosted booth multiple times during the day. And every time I went back, I picked this knife up again. And this knife was on my mind most of the show. So I did have to go back and get one. Oh, and I love it. Yeah, well, see, box has multiple meanings here too, homie. And I am in love with this psyop. I love the sound of the action. And the top liner lock is done so well. All of their top liner locks are done so well. But even though this definitely isn't usually my blade style, my blade shape I go for, the ergos on this are just too money. So, oof, that was my Blade Show West scores right there. I came home with 7 knives. Of course, we also got a ton of swag that there's going to be a short dropping in the next day or two with the swag that Mrs. Deadly and I picked up that's going to make its way into giveaways. We brought bags, t-shirts, stickers, patches, all kinds of stuff home for the Kripple Krew. But I'm very happy. You know, Brian F., you said this one is really tempting. This is one of the more smile-inducing knives. You know, you flick this open. It just makes you happy. It's got that blade, but then it gets actually very comfortable in hand. Totally locked in this position. Just very comfortable. And that hollow grind is wicked slicey. Let's compare it next to the Chavez just to show, like, it's not a little hamster. And it makes me happy every time I flick out that blade. How many of y'all caught the interview with Numb Knives, Nick's from Numb Knives? You just trade the psyop to me. Boy, that pinch lock of his, so simple and easy to use. But with the double detent balls, it is tuned so well. The reverse flick, the front flipper, all money. And just what a genuine guy and an awesome story to take tragedy and turn it into, well, not tragedy, I shouldn't say that word. To take something so terrifying and turn it into something so positive. The N1 Cornerstone and the N7 from Numb Knives were both there, and they both feel phenomenal. I will be getting the N1 for sure. Yeah, if the blade was also coated black, I agree. That would make it. That would just put it over the top. You guys know I prefer coated blades, and I only picked up one knife with a coated blade at the show, and I didn't grab a single warning. There were some, but there was just, man, there's no way you can buy everything you want while you're there. Well, I mean, some people might be able to afford it, but yeah, we had a blast. The only knives that I knew I wanted to get that's on this table is I knew I wanted to get a tag along while I was there, and I didn't know what else I wanted, and came away very, very happy. Yeah, numb knives, so cool. So talking more with Nick. He is going to be on a live stream with me at some point. Most likely when the N2 and N5 protos come in. So he's got something new to show. But we are going to get Nick from Nick's Unhinged Mechanical Brain, also known as Numb Knife Works. He will be a guest on the show. Really awesome dude. And my two knives of Blade Show West, and I don't know which. That's why I'm saying I have two main knives from Blade Show West that took the show for me, because I can't pick one winner. The Numb Knife Works N1 Cornerstone and the TRM Auto. That's the two knives that really stole the show for me. And I also will have, yeah, the nuts. I'd buy a Numb Nuts. The TRM Auto, you've seen the stuff with the N1 already and my interview with Nick, but I will soon be uploading an interview with Marianne, and also that shows and talks about that awesome TRM Auto that I will have. It feels great. And it's not named yet. I thought it was the Neutron Auto. It's not the Neutron Auto. It doesn't have a name. When I upload that interview with Marianne, I'm going to be asking for knife name suggestions, because she wants help naming the TRM Auto. It is very similar to the size of the Neutron and Bulldog, with more thickness than a Neutron, but slightly less than a Bulldog. So it fills the hand amazingly well. Has a full choil, and it kicks out when you press that sapphire button. They only had one there, and it was in Les's pocket most of the time. But I love the TRM Auto. Speaking of autos, man, that ProTech booth was very hard not to spend a bunch of money at. I am going to go grab Mrs. Deadly's haul real quick to share with y'all. Mrs. Deadly's still working on her first cup of coffee, Gareth. She kept me up late last night and then didn't let me go to sleep. So it was a later night last night, and Mrs. Deadly's still working on her first cup of coffee. But let me move this stuff out of the way. She's got to hold the couch down. All right. So, the first knife that was actually bought at the show was not a purchase that I made. Mrs. Deadly saw the purple micarta Fenrir and loved it. Even though it has a coated blade, which she normally doesn't like coated blades, she likes shiny. She saw this purple Fenrir and loved it. And they had a great price on it too. But this was the first knife that we bought at Blade Show West, was actually for Mrs. Deadly, and it started her off on a crazy purple kick. Also, later in the day, Matt Moorer, what's going on? Good to see you, homie. I got to meet Greg Schaub of Sparrow Knife Works. So that was pretty dope. Garrett. Her second purchase, this kit. So when we were having lunch with MPG and her family and Rick's Knives, we sat down at the table with a dude named Solo from EDC. He makes knucks and such. I've got an interview with him that's going to be dropping. Plus, he's going to be sending me a knuck or two to do a pass around with a couple of YouTube reviewers and then give it away to you guys. But he had a leather kit that had a pin, it had a Boker Chavez auto, some other stuff in it. And he told us that there was, a booth that was selling them. And the guy hand makes the kits, and then he loads them up with stuff. Well, Mrs. Deadly wanted to take a look at that booth, and they had some awesome stuff. And she was like, "Man, too bad you don't have purple," because he had a lot out. And he goes, "You mean like this?" And this is crocodile and cow leather, but croc skin with purple stitching. And then it came with the purple flashlight. It came with the Open Mini 2, which not only has the pin, but also has a attitude adjuster up at the top. My Open Mini doesn't have the attitude adjuster. That's pretty cool. So you can do a pin by going down the maze, or the attitude adjuster by going up. On the Edge EDC, member Kripple Krew, what's going on? Good to see you. And a SOG Power Pint. Yes, Mrs. Deadly got a SOG Power Pint before I did. I really like the Power Pint. Now, checking one out. This is one that I would like to get at some point. Awesome little tool. And a purple Artisan Home with purple tie bead. So, Mrs. Deadly got the purple home with the insane leather setup, croc setup. That was her second purchase. Then she saw this purple anteater and loved it. This is where I got my, my Kubi hamster. She got the anteater with the really well done purple tie and that wicked hawkbill. Just a really cool knife with snappy flipper action. And she got some larger knives for show. She also got a Holy Nerd, not the holier, but the original Holy Nerd with milled brass scales. And Teo, have a great night. Oh, that is their Everlast pencil? I wondered if it was up for one of those forever type pencils. And then, so you guys know that prior to going to Blade Show, the Vosteed Hedgehog was my favorite top liner lock. And I was checking these out, and I was trying to decide if I was going to get this or the PSYOP. And Mrs. Deadly was checking it out, and she was like, why don't you just get both? When I looked over and see it bite her, Mrs. Deadly needed her first Band-Aid from playing with EDC, and this particular hedgehog was the first knife to bite Mrs. Deadly. And so, of course, had to get it for her. So now she has a Vosteed Hedgehog. I will still get one. Such a good knife. But I have to say, Mrs. Deadly, I ended up with a pretty wicked loadout from Blade Show West. And it's kind of funny. Not only did we get the first purchase of the day was Mrs. Deadly, which started her on a purple EDC kick for the rest of the day. But we also spent more money on Mrs. Deadly's carry at the show than we did on mine, which I thought was awesome and hilarious. I was just happy to see her getting into it so much and finding what she really liked. Said, no, I'll never let you live that down. Our first Blade show, we spent more on Mrs. Deadly than me. I love it. But it also means that, you know, when your spouse is also buying knives, it's much less likely that they're going to be like, no, you shouldn't spend the money on that. No, they're going to be like, yeah, you should get one too. It worked great. It worked great. But I got to say, we definitely, let me close these up and make some room. I have to say that we both have a pretty dope Blade Show haul. Let's see if we can get all of these to fit out here. This guy's going to take up a lot of room. It's a lucky dog. Okay, let's see if we can fit this all. And I guess we'll put the Chavez over here and the tag along there. But pretty dope. Yeah, badge of honor. True that. True that. Look at those badass emojis being dropped by our brother Yavis. Oh, I forgot. Her pouch also has a Right in the Rain notebook in the back. Such an awesome EDC kit. He had so many of these set up. I almost got one that had a Microtech MSI in it. That was like $360 for the leather kit, the MSI, and everything that came in it. But it was worth it. Like, his prices are well worth it. But I couldn't make myself drop that on it at that point. But really, as you can tell, we had a blast. And then we came back with multiple bags of swag for the Kripple Krew. But definitely checked out a lot of booths. There was only a couple that I wanted to see that I didn't get to, like Riot. I wanted to check out the Riot booth. I've still never checked out an EXO. But the Riot booth was pretty busy, and whenever I saw it and thought about it, we were doing something else, and I always planned to go back, and I never made it back to the Riot booth. But I did get an interview with the first company to use Ultim on a production knife. Excited about that. Y'all know I'm a little bit of an Ultim fan. Oh, also, I absolutely planned on getting more Ultim at the show and didn't. The first one I almost got the top liner lock Ultim and Damascus Finrear. I was gonna get that one, but I said I would make it back to the booth because, like I said, the show had just opened at this point. This was the first knife purchased, and I was like, I'm gonna make it back. I'm gonna see what else is out there before I get another Finrear, because I've got one that I just gave away last week, but I still got another top liner lock. So I was like, I'll make it back here. When I made it back, they were gone. And Did not get any Ultim at the show, but I didn't regret it because I came away with a pretty loaded carry. Now that you've seen our haul and also what my carry for today is, what are y'all carrying today? What's in the cruise pockets? I definitely am looking forward to going again. I had so many companies asking us if we we're going to be at Atlanta that Mrs. Deadly and I will have to make that happen. Flightanium. Flightanium was another one of those booths that I really wanted to meet because I talked to Josh on Instagram all the time, and they didn't have any accessories there. I brought my arcade light because I was going to accessorize it, but they didn't bring accessories. They brought the new beef. They had the arcades, the Concords. They had, of course, all their flippers. I mean, butterfly stuff like the UFO and the I can't remember the name of the one with the blade, but it was all knives that they brought. My I just got the confirmation yesterday that my brand new beef with the 14C and all the T8 hardware is on the way. And Josh told me that Flightanium's going to send me an Arcade Pro to check out. So I'm really stoked to check out that Arcade Pro for you guys. You got your BP Wasp. Oh man, those BP customs that he keeps getting. He's got a few of them now. Beautiful fixies. A McNeese, a carbon fiber nerd, and the ABW slip. So I went there fully intending to get an ABW slip. Like when I knew I was going to Blade Show, I was asked by Darkwater, what am I chasing? I was like, ABW slip joint. And then I looked at the vendor list and ABW wasn't there. So I did not get an ABW slip joint, but I still was very happy with what I did get. Going to be 13 BPs on Friday. Wow. That's a couple. Chris has definitely been on an American-made EDC fixed blade kick this year. We checked out the McNeese booth. I did shoot a short with the Dixon. Haven't posted that one yet either. The Dixon is so much lighter than I expected. War Room EDC, the original first member of Kripple Krew Inc. Cold Steel today with the 8015, an American Lawman, plus the Jack Wolf Collusion. Nice. Couple Derby blades on the way too. Ooh. Chris has had some sexy fixies coming in this year. But the McNeese Dixon truly surprised me at how light it is in hand. And the action was amazing. I still love the McNeese Mac 2, or PM Mac 2. Gen 2, especially the 3.5. But I think I might like the Dixon a little bit more. I don't know. I'd have to check them out again one more time. We were at the show and there's so much going on. But I really, really like the way the Dixon feels in hand. That sounds bad. But Yeah, it feels so good in hand. Oh, I love that clicky clack sound with the big old blade and the Lee Williams kick stop. Clack. Clack. Oh, hell yeah, War Room. Sounds good. Well stoked for that. Had to get back to work, but now you can mess around for a little while again. Yeah, War Room. This was the first knife that I handled at the show. Before the show opened, I checked out this micarta and LMAX PSYOP, and I kept going back to it all day. I had to snag it. I think this has become my favorite top liner lock. It was the Hedgehog, but this is just so comfortable in hand, and the way the choke up feels is just perfect. I love the action on this. I am a huge fan, way more than I thought I would be. And it was a knife I was not able to say no to. They did have them for a good price there. $130 is a damn good price for LMAX and this beautiful micarta. But yeah, this is one that I flicked before the show started, and I had to go back and get it later. I'm so glad that I did, because I think this might be like my favorite EDC of the show. I don't know if it's my favorite knife that I got. Like, the Holier Nerd is such a great fifth pocket. But whoops, this one's still breaking in on the washers, and I got to keep my finger out of the way. There we go. Once these washers break in, it'll be a lot easier to flick out. But for like an actual EDC, this PSYOP is very hard to beat. So, the mini MSI. Two booths that I really had knives that I planned on checking out before I even got there. Riot, so I could finally handle an EXO, and Microtech, so I could handle a mini MSI. Those were two booths that I did not make it to. So my main knives that I wanted to handle before I got there were the TRM Auto, the Numb Knife Works N1 with the pinch lock, a Riot EXO, and a mini MSI. I did not handle the Riot EXO or mini MSI. So I can't tell you what I think. Gabe Harlan, what's going on, my man? I can't tell you what I think of the mini MSI, unfortunately. I did, however, at a booth that sells, the guys that was selling these pouches, like Mrs. Deadly got, he had a pouch with a Microtech stitch. and one with an MSI. So it's the first time I got to handle a stitch. I like the stitch a lot, but I think I like the MSI better. I like the MSI better than the stitch. But I did not get to handle the Mini. That and the Riyadh XO are the two for me that I wished I would have got back to. You know, with only one day at the show, there was so much we were trying to get accomplished. I wanted to, I already planned on meeting Darkwater, MPG, and Rick's Knives. And I got to meet Big Red EDC and Zach's stuff as well, and Hog Road Slayer. I had to talk to TRM, North Mountain Blade, Flightanium, Concept, and Tenable. There were several booths people that I knew I had to talk to while I was at the show. Plus, I was trying to get content. And I just never made it to the MSI, to the Microtech booth. Definitely, if you're trying to get all of that done and make content, you need 2 days. We got a lot accomplished in that one day. A lot. But like, there were times that, say, we would go back by the Riot booth and they'd be slammed. I'm like, well, I'm not going to waste 40 minutes here just to try to get to handle a knife. I'll come back. Let's use that time elsewhere. And then, like I said, that's just that and Riot are the two I didn't make it back to. She didn't give me the price point yet. Welcome back, Grandpa's Greg. But in the interview that will drop soon, she did say that the TRM Auto, Mayo Monkey, remember Kripple Krew Inc., what's going on, homie? And the Atom Frame Lock will both be available by Christmas. Like, ooh. Yeah, get it at any price point. Yeah, it's my new Grail auto after handling it. There's not very many autos that I really want. There's a couple of Pro-Techs that I would love to get, but I'm not a huge automatic knife carrier. I will get the TRM auto, and evil homie BDB, he'll carry the shit out of it. So yes and no. It's about neutron size, but with a finger choil more like the Bulldog and a width that's closer to the Bulldog than the neutron. It's still nice and slim for an auto, but it's more hand-filling than a standard neutron. So it feels great as an EDC knife because the choil and the grip just feels perfect. And then it whacks out. It has almost Pro-Tech spring strength. Like, it really kicks out there. Oh, one other knife that really, really caught my attention. He wouldn't sell them. He wouldn't sell them at the show. Tack Knives has a mini Marlin or a micro Marlin fixie coming. I can't. I don't think I got any content of it, but I want it so bad. My Sezzle is saying I need a hinder. Yeah, the TRM Auto and the Numb Knife Works in one Cornerstone were the two knives of the show for me. That TRM Auto, I want so badly. And I will have an in-one Cornerstone when they're available after talking to Nick and learning more about his story. I just want to see him succeed. And the knife was dope. Oh, I love that ting. We caught part of the West Coast Flipping Championships on our way out. Those didn't start until 4 p.m. Yeah, we poked our head in there as we were leaving the show at 5 something. And we got to watch. The smoothest run that we saw was the shortest kid on the stage. Absolutely, that they were doing single eliminations first, where you go head to head against another flipper, and he absolutely destroyed the adult he was going against. There was a couple of kids that were wicked smooth. I don't know who won. By that point, we were pretty dead. And I wanted to get back with a little time to chill before we had dinner with Rick's Knives. But that was really fun. I'd watch more of that again. One Moon Collective, member of Kripple Krew Inc. What it do? Hope the shoulder's doing well, my friend. I want to give a big shout out to my homeboys, Tiger Claw, Firestone, and Corn Doggy. Darkwater's boys, they were there. They were assisting multiple booths. And talk about three little dudes that were working their tails off all day. And just very respectful kids. All three. Very respectful. Phenomenal kids. The three were already my homies. And I came away impressed even more. They absolutely earned their keep during Blade Show. And it was awesome because Tiger Claw was working his butt off for Kubi. And he got a few knives that Kubi gave him, and two of which were Ultim. And both times, man, he came flying to find me at the show and show me his new Ultim carries. So shout out to my boys, Tiger Claw, Firestone, and Corn Doggy. It was awesome to finally meet you guys. Waiting on your UPS driver. What fixie is coming today? I got to know what fixie is coming. It was quite amusing putting the Band-Aid on Mrs. Deadly's finger after this hedgehog bit her. After all the crap that she has talked to me about having Band-Aids because I play with knives all day and I get bit. It was awesome that she had her first battle wound at Blade Show West, because now she understands. She's like, I didn't even feel it, and it didn't even really cut. It just like poked, and all of a sudden I was bleeding. I was like, yep, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Normally I look down and go, oh, hold on, folks. YouTube's going to demonetize this if I don't get a Band-Aid. BP flagship and mini FUK. Ooh, ooh. Laid off Pete, member for 10 months. Damn, much appreciation for the support. He says, glad you had a good time at Blade Show West, homie. Here's Mrs. Deadly's Boss Steed Acoustics. Definitely appreciate you, homie. Thank you for popping in before you had to go back to work. But yes, now she knows. Beardo, member of Kripple Krew Inc. You know that Super Ultim's not going anywhere. She understands now how easy it is to get a little bit of bite from a knife. And she has named the first knife to bite her. Since it's a black hedgehog, and Shadow the Hedgehog was the evil hedgehog in the Sonic series, this is Shadow the Hedgehog. The first knife to bite Mrs. Deadly. Man, flicking this, I still absolutely have to get myself one of these. I love the hedgehog. Like I said, she was telling me I should just get both when I was trying to decide between the hedgehog and the psyop. Until her. And then I knew I had to get both, but one was going to be for her. But I am not disappointed at all that I came away with a hedgehog or a psyop. But I still really dig the feel of the hedgehog. If you haven't yet, drop today's carry in the comments, or you can send me a picture on Instagram if you want to share your carry. Oh, I just popped open my Instagram and I've got to share what they're showing, what was right up on screen. This is that amazing Neutron Auto. So they no longer the aluminum. They had the full titanium version with them. And this is the first time they've milled the clip too. So this has the updated, like much better and tighter milling that they're starting to do on the scales, and then the milled pocket clip too. It was just amazing. I am in love with this knife. I will have one. Ooh, here's one of the derby blades that our brother Chris Lopez have. Hey, we're not supposed to have Washington or autos here in Washington either. I only have them for my collection. But of course, evil homie BDB, he don't care. Look at this derby blade that Chris Lopez has with the copper mice, Damascus, carbon fiber, some wicked looking stuff back here. You have had some gorgeous pixies come in the last few months, homie. Ooh, let's look at Nick and F and Martino's carry. He must be, yeah, milled clip for the arcade would be cool. Nick Martino must be lurking. He's got his Protec Chavez, his Leatherman Arc, the baton from Olight, and the Firecraft Fixie with a force tank and some awesome Brian F. pocket swag. And then Tops Knives, Pry Bar. Hell yeah. That sucks. Yeah, that so his carry reminded me. I did check out the Leatherman Arc. It is very smooth. I also checked out the Wave Alpha or Wave Plus Alpha, whatever the heck they're calling it, that has MagnaCut as well. Definitely not as smooth as the Arc. But I also checked out Leatherman's shitty new folders. And after handling them, I'm still going to call them Leatherman shitty new folders. Because they're Leatherman shitty new folders. They feel like crap. They're way overpriced for soft MagnaCut. I don't get it at all. They don't feel good in hand. The action is horrible. Everything that I thought was wrong with them is wrong with them. The Leatherman folders suck balls. If you're going to drop that much money on a Leatherman, just get an Arc and at least get a good tool set and a MagnaCut blade that's a higher hardness than what they're putting on their folding knives. Clint Crosby, what's going on, homie? Good to see you. They're crap knives. The Blaze and the Glide or whatever the hell they're called. They're crap. Hope the meeting went well. Glad you had time to pop in. You've always got the Fenrir as your profile picture, Clint Crosby. This was the first knife purchased at Blade Show West. Mrs. Deadly found a purple Fenrir and fell in love. So Tactile probably is the ones making them all the new knives from Leatherman. I assumed it or thought it was Tactile. No, Leatherman's making them in-house. Leatherman is doing it all in-house. And they don't know how to make knives. They feel so crappy. So crappy, homie. There wasn't anything about them that I liked. Nothing. While I was checking them out, Rick's Knives was standing off to the corner, off to the side, not saying anything to me because he had already checked them, but he was curious what I said, and he didn't want to taint my first impression. I turned and I looked at him, and we were still at the booth, but I couldn't wait. I was like, dude, these suck. These are shit. He was like, okay, that's what I thought too. But I was going to wait till you felt them. I was like, no, these are crap. Yeah. Now they're going away from sheaths too. That's going to piss off a lot of people. But the Arc, it was smoother than I expected. If they weren't so expensive, I'd be happy to add one to my collection. Good tool. The Wave Plus Alpha is only going to be a little bit less expensive, and it doesn't have all the one-handed capabilities of the Arc. I don't see. It's only going to be like $30 to $40 cheaper, I believe. And if that's the case, get the Arc for sure. I was not impressed by the new Wave Alpha or whatever the shit it's called. The Arc did feel good. You know me, I'm all about Rocktoll and Roxxon, but at least I'll admit that the Arc felt great in hand, but not the Wave Alpha. Yeah, they should have stuck to multi-tools. Their folders ain't it. And I didn't even bother to mess with their fixed blades. They're ugly and overpriced as well. I just wanted to feel if the action and everything about the folders was as crappy as they looked, and it is. You know, the action opening them is horrible. To close them, you've got to break the detent after you push the button to get them to close. It's just a stupid system. They're not comfortable in hand. They don't feel good. I don't have anything good to say about it. I got nothing good to say about the Leatherman folders. Adam, like there was so much good during the show. The only knives that I handled that I just couldn't stand were the Leathermans. The new S-Wing multi-tool. Ooh. I feel bad for the Leatherman fanboys that are going to overpay for those shitty knives. Because they say Leatherman on them, people are going to overpay for them. And then they're going to get them and go, why the hell did I buy this? Ooh, look at it. First off from Kane, here is the Microtech that he's carrying today. A nice Ultratech with the combo edge. Wicked. I like it. I like it. Stop. Have all the ones you'll ever need. I would like to, like I said, I would like to get an Arc someday just because it felt really good. It did. And I like the idea of being able to almost like flip it out like a butterfly knife, open everything one-handed. But I thought the Wave Alpha would feel better. All yours came with sheaths and some with a couple of bits. Yeah, now they're trying to get rid of all the extras. The getting rid of sheaths for all the Leathermans going forward, or almost all of them going forward, just doesn't make sense to me. I don't. I know that it's good to have a pocket clip option, but multi-tools, I have enough in my pockets with multiple folders, pins, flashlights, and cordless hole punch. Ouchie EDC, what's up, Pedro? What was I saying? I said hi to Ouchie EDC and I forgot what I was saying. Oh, well, must not have been important. Let's take a look at that picture. Oh yeah. With the way my pockets are stacked, all of my multi-tools, whenever I'm carrying a multi-tool, which is almost always, it's always on my belt, just to get that extra chunk out of my pocket. And yeah, all the perp. That's Mrs. Deadly's scores from Blade Show West. She had some great purple EDC scores from Blade Show West, including her Croc leather EDC carrier with purple stitching that has purple flashlight pin, a SOG power pint, and the purple artisan home. This setup right here was the most expensive thing we bought at Blade Show, but well worth it. Joe to the K. What is up, homie? Good to see you. I got to look up this IRO now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is a beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. The Estwing tool. I was expecting a multi-tool. We got the hammer. American-made hammer. The frame lock. This is the Kubi Anteater. We got a killer deal on a couple of Kubis. Mrs. Deadly got the Anteater, and I got the hamster. Both really cool. This has some of Kubi's dopest milling that I've seen on their own knives. Like not an OEM project. Look at that backspacer. And then the purple, I don't know if you can tell, if you can see it, but there is slight gold highlights on the edges, all along the edge. Just a wicked blade. Great action on that flipper. And, oh, yes, you can easily reverse flick. Yeah, fades to gold. It is tie. I really like the way that this is tuned. Look at that perfect reverse flick off the blade. This is a wicked knife. But yeah, she got the Anteater. I got the hamster because I flicked out that big old blade and just started laughing. And I knew I had to have it. Plus, this is one that's not supposed to be, but I can work as a front flipper. Yeah, the purple to gold is just beautiful on here. Plus, she's a Vikings fan. So, like, it's the perfect colors for her. This backspacer looks so cool. No, this is an artisan home. This came in her EDC kit that she purchased, the custom leather pouch. It's just, I hadn't seen this version of the artisan home. And it really is beautiful. It already had the tie bead on here. Like, I think he should have gone through the swivel actual lanyard barrel. Like, that swivel barrel is made for a lanyard instead of just hooking it on here. I still, if you, it's probably because he used the thick leather instead of paracord. That's probably why he did it that way. But it does also make it very easy to pull out of the pouch. Whoop, my finger got in the way. There we go. At the Artisan Home. Great EDC knife. Yeah, this side, well, minus that. These, the brass Holy Nerd and these four are Mrs. Deadly. The Thai Holier Nerd and these other ones on this side are my scores from Blade Show West. Yeah, Mrs. Deadly, dude, she didn't play around. The bug, it bit her. She understands now. This was the first knife we bought all day. She saw the purple micarta, fell in love. And from then, she was on her purple kick. And whether it was her purple EDC setup with the home, whether it was the anteater, she was going for purple. And then the reason, if you missed it earlier, yes, I loved seeing her get bit by the knife bug. It was awesome seeing her look, and she'd look at a knife and she would say, I really like it. I'm saying, then just get it. And this one I was looking at for me, and I was trying to decide between the Hedgehog and the Psyop. And she checked out the Hedgehog, and she got her first war wound from this knife. So we had to buy it, and this is her Hedgehog. So it's the first knife to bite her, and now she understands all of my Band-Aids. But so this is Sonic the Hedgehog, or not Sonic. This is Shadow the Hedgehog. She named it because it bit her, and it's black, so it's Shadow the Evil Hedgehog. I'll still get a Hedgehog at some point because it is such a great knife. That's for damn sure. So she surprised me with the ticket to Blade Show because I didn't think we were going to be able to make it. She's my sugar mama, working while I'm home making content. And now she's straight up into knives and EDC. Like the next morning after the show, we're getting up, we're in the hotel, and we're starting to pack to get ready to go. The first thing that went into her purse was her EDC kit. With this, she has pen and paper, flashlight, a multi-tool, and a good size EDC knife, all in one. And this fits in even her smaller purses really well. So now she's definitely in it to win it now. Well, everybody in this chat is part of the DBD family, that's for sure. Making content. Yeah, this show was really fun to watch. Miss Deadly really start finding stuff that she liked. You can tell this one needs more work. I've been flicking mine ever since I got it, and mine's already starting to break in. There we go. These little just bit me. That's my nerd. Let's see if I'm gonna need a Band-Aid or did it just shave. Maybe it just shaved. Have to watch it for a second, make sure I don't need one. But mine is already breaking in. You know, TRMs on washers always take a minute, but mine is getting snappy. Arms healed now, just going through the hell of bouncing back and trying to survive winter. Yeah, true that. Yes, it can get very expensive very quickly. Yeah, it is BDB you got to watch out for. Yes, no, absolutely. Once she started getting into the content or getting into finding stuff she liked, whenever I was looking at an iPhone, would be like, man, I really like that. She'd be like, you should just get it. Yeah, I've had time delays where I thought I got myself, didn't bleed, and then I keep making content and look down in a minute and the knife is covered. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Those are the ones. Then you realize you got a bunch to clean off of the knife and off of your desk. Absolutely, Nick. And now, you know, she is definitely wanting to go to future Blade shows with me. So many companies asked us if we were going to be at Atlanta. I know TRM, Flightanium, Concept would all be happy with us working their booths. Probably Orbital too. The the XL Callisto that is coming. Oh, I like it so much. This version is nice, but the XL, especially the milled tie with DLC blade, the XLs are going to be fire. You'll see those in the interview with Orbital Knives when I post that in the next day or two. But the Orbital XL is going to feel so good. Yeah, QSP, I did get a chance to go back and talk to their stuff. Whoop. Or check out their stuff and talk to Big Red and Zach, who are both working the QSP booth. And I definitely want a canary neck knife now after handling one. And the Penguin fixed blade is great. I really like the Penguin fixed blade. By the way, they let us snag a whole bunch of the little penguins. So those are going to be added to giveaways. Later, Beardo. Have a good one, homie. The two knives that excited me the most, Nick, were the Numb Knife Works in one cornerstone with the pinch lock. Yeah, everybody was working booths. I had opportunities, but I didn't think we were going to be able to make it to the show. So I told everybody I couldn't help them with their booths this year. But Atlanta will probably be different. But the Numb Knives in one cornerstone. The N7 is nice too, but I like the N1 better, just the blade shape. And the TRM Auto were the two knives that impressed me the most. Now there was a lot of stuff that I was able to check out that now is added to my list. Like I really want something from Dauntless. especially in Ultim. What else? I got to handle more Protex, and there are some Protex I really want now. My first time handling a Mordax. I had never handled a Protec manual, and that Mordax, the action is insane. Auxiliary was there, but I didn't get any content of Auxiliary. They did have some awesome stuff. Yeah, the Mordax is a great button lock flipper. It has the best flipper detent that I have felt, a pure flipper on a button lock. There was so much, so many that impressed me. I'm really stoked for the large Callisto. It just felt great. I got to check out and handle Arcane Designs for the first time. And I almost bought a Flipper Delete Arcane. But I did talk myself out of the $300. The Arcane knives were knives that made me happy. Oh, Poikilo. I've got a short with some of the Poikilo blades. That was the first time I got to handle Poikilo, and their stuff really is as nutty as it looks, and it feels so good. Auxiliary is one of your favorites. Yeah, they had some awesome stuff. I didn't get a chance to talk to him and get him on camera. But those Poikilo guys, their manufacturing, their level of like knife nuttery is up there with Reich knives. Just phenomenal blades. Poikilo they had a couple that I would really like to get my hands on. Another knife that impressed me that I really liked, Alex Kerber, member of Kripple Krew Inc. What it do, homie? Was Sever Sevens Katuo Noctis that's coming. Joseph Jones, what's going on, homie? How are you? Mrs. DBD is doing awesome. These four here, plus this purple custom handmade EDC kit, are all Mrs. Deadly's from Blade Show West. She's in it to win it now. She is now an EDC fanatic after the show. But Sever Sevens Noctis with Katuo. Folks, you're going to love that knife. I will have a short of that one up soon. Such a wicked pointy Tonto. Like, it's an EDC knife that if you had to do some beef jerky defense work, it's going to do it so fast. I haven't really polished my washers too much. You know, I'll clean them really well, and oil them up. Yes, I got to check out Sever's design. Unfortunately, Sever didn't make it. He had flight issues and was not able to make the show. So he still hasn't handled his own prototypes. But I am a big fan of Sever 7's Catuo Noctis, and I will be grabbing one of those when they're available. I found the one thing on the V1 that needed to be changed, but they were already working on it. On the V1 of the prototype, the front flipper is a little short. The first time I tried it, I got it first try, and then in the short, you'll see me slip off it a couple of times. But Catuo Rep says, no, you found the one thing we're looking to change, and they are making the front flipper a little bit taller and improving the jimping to just make it easier to roll over. But the knife feels and looks great. And you know Catuo's manufacturing capabilities. It's going to be an awesome knife. It does look wicked cool. It does look wild. It's going to be a great knife. And I wish he got a chance to hold it. Yeah, the front flipper is just, it's too short. But if the jimping was like, had more bite to it, it would be easier to roll over. It's still doable, but for mass production, it's smart that they are raising it up just a little, because it only needs the slightest amount to make it more comfortable. So they're already working on it. That knife is going to be dope when it's ready. Roger Baker, what's going on? What's going on? So I am stoked for our boy Sever 7. It's a great knife, and I think it's going to do very well for him. I also checked out at the KB booth the Folklore by our boy Darren, D. Sharon. D. Sharon killed the Folklore. It feels great, folks. I was gonna grab it. I was about to buy the Folklore, and then I flicked the hamster blade open, and I just started chuckling, and I was too happy. And so I bought the hamster instead of the Folklore, but I still plan on getting a Folklore. Yes, it was if the jimping went all the way over the top, it would make a big difference. But they're fixing that front flipper. It only needs just a little bit of adjustment, and it'll be great. And they're already working on it. But when I was checking, right before I checked this out, I checked out the D. Sharon Folklore, and that was a great knife. They had one more. They had a supercell. Like all the titanium stuff was pretty much marked down to $100 towards the end of the show. And I go back and I see there's a supercell, but before I can grab it, a younger kid picked it up, and he's checking it out, and he's looking at it, and he was liking it. And I told him that it was one of my favorite designs from KC, that I got to review it. And so he was asking me some questions about it. And he was like, so it's really a good knife? I was like, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. For $100, if you put it down and walk away, I'm going to buy it. So yes, I highly recommend it. So he snagged the supercell. And so instead, I looked at the Folklore and was going to get that until I flicked this blade out. And it just made me so happy that I had to get this chode of a hamster. Same designer as the KB stroller, Utilizator. And when I reviewed the stroller, I saw a picture of this and thought it was, especially with the name hamster, I thought it was going to be like a fifth pocket knife. I did not expect a full-size EDC out of it. And so when this big old blade with this wicked deep hollow came firing out, I was just too happy to not buy this. So I still need to get a folklore, but I'm so happy I grabbed a hamster. Yeah, we had a hamster, a lucky dog, an anteater, and a hedgehog. We ended up with 4 animal named knives. And it's funny. Like, the hedgehog is more the size that I was expecting the hamster to be. There's them butt to butt. But yeah, the hamster is quite a bit bigger than I was expecting. But we both got 2 critter named knives. Last hamster you had, your sister accidentally squeezed to death. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, it is a beefy and, nice, chunky blade stock too. This is a legit user and so comfortable in hand. That jimping on that ramp really locks you in. I like the hamster a lot. I like it a lot. Use my Mad Yako Hank to wipe that off. The best hanks for knife blades, if y'all didn't know. I'm sure everybody in here knows, though. But Mad Yako, double wide EDC. I do want to mention one more time. Let me pull something up real quick. So, folks, the ergos on the hamster are actually awesome. So, behind the pivot, I love this little finger guard there. I am so locked in on this jimping that it's going nowhere. If I want to get that secondary tip down, I can easily do it in a pinch grip. You've got this beautiful dip right here for a utility style grip. In a beef jerky Avenger, it locks in perfectly in a beef jerky Avenger. And then in a beef jerky Defender grip, I'm still locked in, and now I can feel that pocket clip in my hand. Avenger is definitely more comfortable, but for such a big, chunk of scales and blade, it is actually very comfortable. Decent access to the lock bar, so really easy. And then that blade is just smooth. You can use the fuller or the studs to flick it out. And the jimping is tight enough that even though it's not meant to be and it doesn't go up at all, I can actually grab this and roll it over for a front flip. Big fan of the hamster. This knife is still, when I flick it out, you can't see it, but it makes me smile every single time. Every time I flick it out, it makes me smile. So, Mad Yako, I want to point out double wide EDC. The new loot boxes are up. The Hallowed Enigmas loot boxes. You can get single or double Hank boxes, and then you're guaranteed to get Hank and Wax plus other knives. And every 50% of the boxes have a knife in them. 50% also include a knife. I do also want to point out that the Super High Unknown, the very first loot box from him, is still available. There's only 8 left, and 3 of the 8 have knives in them. Great, great odds. And one of those knives in this first box, there's the carbon fiber Bel Air is still available. So USA made Magna Cut and carbon fiber for the price of a $60 or $80 box. You've got what? 3 of 8. So about a 40% chance of winning a knife, and it might even be the Kershaw Bel Air. So check out the Mad Yako loot boxes on Double Wide EDC. Yeah, Murphy's Law. Faux show. Oh, nice. You have to stick around so you can sign. Fun times. Oh, yeah, that's a great deal to get some Mad Yako Hanks, some Mad Wax, and have a great chance at getting a knife. Whether you go V1 or V2, the first loot box, or, since there's only 8 left, you might as well grab one of the first loot boxes and get you one of the version 2 loot boxes, the Hallowed Enigmas. Then you really have a great chance of winning a knife. But the fact that you might walk away with a Hank, Mad Wax, and a Kershaw Bel Air in carbon fiber for $60? Woo! Yeah, that would suck to be right in the middle of pouring when your doorbell rings. Ooh. This knife. I am so glad I decided to get the PSYOP. And having checked out the full-size PSYOP, the PSYOP 299 just isn't me. I like this fuller, the full-size blade and larger ergos instead of the 2.99-inch PSYOP. And this is only my second LMAX in the collection after my Blue Label rendition 229. Welcome back, Neil, to the Mac. Must be lunch break. Overall, I can say if you haven't made it to a Blade show, I highly recommend it. And I really am looking forward to Atlanta when more of the Kripple Krew is going to be there, when I can meet more of you guys. I had a blast with Darkwater and his boys, with MPG and her family, and with Rick's Knives. Plus, had awesome chat with Big Red and Zach Stuff. Both of them are Pacific Northwest guys living up here, not, about one's 4 hours, one's about 5.5 hours from me. But they were great to talk to. And I definitely want to meet more of y'all in Atlanta. I did think, no surprise, booth wise, the one that I spent the most time talking to the people was TRM. I know that doesn't surprise anybody because, I'm a huge TRM fan. Plus, I really needed to get to know Marianne and Les with as much as I've talked to Marianne. But for me, I would say the most real moment of the entire Blade show was, ooh, look at that, free shipping plus 10% off for limited time with code Kripple10. Yay, yay. No, the show wouldn't let them bring the dogs, which is ridiculous. There were a few dogs there, but they were service dogs. Of course, I had to pet people's service dogs still. Asking, of course, but they wouldn't let them bring the bullies in because they're not service dogs, even though they would have been in the booth the whole time. I didn't get to meet the TRM dogs yet. That I wish that they were there. I was looking for them. But as I was saying, the absolute most real moment of the show for me was talking to Nick from Nick's Unhinged Mechanical Brain, Numb Knife Works. Yeah, little French bullies. The interview with Nick, I started to ask him about how he came up with the pinch lock, and he was just about to launch into the story, and I was like, wait 1 second, stop, please, stop talking. Let's mic up for this. I want to record this. So we get mic'd up, I hit record, and he's like, yes, so 2 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was like, yo, I just made this guy stop and mic up for this. But it turned out to be one of the coolest conversations I've had. And that man's love for this community is real. And he was just an awesome, awesome guy. Yeah, I love me some TRM's milled tie is what got me to start carrying and loving titanium. And now I am definitely have become a tie fan. And I will very soon have a lizard skin atom with my Kyrie hollow grind to add to this collection. I'm well stoked for that. And I loved the TRM tag along fixie when I got to have the one here for giveaway, but I didn't carry it, of course. I didn't even put it in the sheath because it wasn't mine. This one, I have really enjoyed carrying this in my pocket, and I am a huge fan of the tag along now. Yes, I saw Everyday City Carries video where he put the elephant skin on his Neutron 2, and oh my, that was so sexy. So sexy. This one eventually, I might change the scales out. Like right now, they don't sell scale swaps for these, but this has forest green G10, and I would like to add either their micarta or fat carbon scales to this at some point, but I am a big fan of the TRM tag-along fixie. You have that in jute. Nice. Yeah, this, she had grabbed the blue and green carbon fiber, fat carbon or camo carbon version. And she was going to give me the blue and green camo carbon, but she couldn't find the box for it. And she found the box for this one first. So she gave me the forest green G10. And I am not looking a gift horse in the mouth. This is one of my favorite knives that I brought home from Blade Show, even with the G10 scales. So I am loving this knife. But I would eventually like to have fat carbon or camo carbon scales on here, I think. However, this green goes very well with a lot of my other green carry. So, and their G10 feels so good. Almost feels like micarta. Yeah, I like the one I gave away had the OD green micarta. I've seen the red and the blue micartas on these and they look good. This G10, again, it looks similar to micarta and it feels very similar. But this one is G10. Forest green G10. But oh, it feels so good. And I love the way they did their taco sheaths. Absolutely. This carries so well. I love the way it locks into this leather. You can hear it. Such a phenomenal job on these sheaths. And with the Ulti-Clip, you can easily pocket drop it or clip it to your belt, however you want to carry it. William Hornbostel, member of Kripple Krew Inc. What it do, homie? But as you can see, there definitely will be a lot of content coming from Blade Show West. I've got a lot to review. And I still have more shorts and a couple of interviews from Blade Show West that are going to be uploaded over the next couple of days. You're going to get an interview with Marianne and get to see the TRM Auto. You're going to get an interview with Eddie from Callisto to see the full-size Callisto Proto. Also, an interview with the first company to start using Ultim on production knives. Definitely going to gonna have to upload that one. It really is, and it gives it that almost. It reminds me of how We the People Holsters does the Kydex leather combo holsters. That's kind of what this reminds me of, even though there's no Kydex, just because this is leather, but the way it snaps in, it locks in like Kydex because the way that they have molded these. And it's just phenomenal. But I absolutely believe Miss Deadly and I both made out like bandits at Blade Show West. And I gotta say it one more time. We actually spent more on Mrs. Deeb's knives than we spent on mine at Blade Show West, which I think is awesome. And I am so happy that she's into the I don't want to say the hobby now. She's into the addiction now. And she would see knives that she would like. She'd be like, "Oh, that looks really good. Do you guys make it in purple?" And some people would be like, "Yeah, we don't have them here." Some people like, "No, we're not doing it yet." She's like, "If this was purple, I would have bought it." Yeah, it was a good time. Okay, folks, it is time for me to get something to eat. I need to get something to eat and start do some more editing on content from the show so I can get that uploaded. You know, I always appreciate you guys chilling with me on my Tuesdays. It's the one you want to get your hands on. The only one you have is a chub flipper. Oh, the utility knife. That's such a cool utility knife. This is smaller and narrow and much thinner blade stock than I was expecting. But it's a great EDC size, and I'm very, very happy with this as a budget knife. Plus, Ramon Chavez himself signed the box for me, and this is probably this is in the running for budget knife of the year for 2025. I don't know who's going to win yet this year, but I will say this is in the running. It is that good, especially with the skull clip. I love the way that they have cut out the scales around the crossbar. It really feels right. And then the way that the tang of the blade goes over the stop pin really gives, seriously bank fault. Serious rock solid lockup. And much more EDC friendly than most Chavez knives. I could highly recommend this, especially for what, $80 or $89, whatever it is on Blade HQ. Yeah, well worth it to me. Glad I got one. Now I've got the budget. I've got a blue label. Now I need a red box 229. But stay tuned, folks, for more Blade Show West coverage. And don't forget, Thursday, we will have TNT, Thursday Knife Talks with DBD and War Room. Tonight, folks, the first edition of Knafaholics on a Tuesday. Also, our homies Tegan and Shay will be having a live stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Tegan's channel. So make sure to check those out. Thank you, Gabe. $85. Well worth it. Well worth it. They were only $5 cheaper at the show. They were $80. It's only $5 cheaper. But yeah, this was one of the last knives that I picked up. And I am glad that I snagged it. I will be reviewing this and everything you see here over the next couple of weeks. Catch us on Thursday Knife Talks. Until then, folks, stay safe, stay frosty, and most importantly, folks, stay deadly.